I can't say it was all bad. He used to open the door for me. He had like chivalry. I never had to open my own car door. I never had to drive. He was always the one that drove. It was very rare that I would ever drive and he was the passenger. I don't think I was. I think I was always the passenger, which was nice. I used to smoke a lot, like smoke a lot of weed. So like when he'd get home, I'd have a bowl ready packed for him. We'd smoke a bowl, and then we'd watch some TV or play some video games, and then we'd go cook together. We always cooked together. I can't say that our relationship was all bad. We would go to the beach every so often. That was when we lived on the East Coast. It's like I would have lived on the beach in California if I was 18. I would have went to the beach every day. But it's more along the lines of I don't know why I like the beach. Now it's like sticky sand and sticky water. It's like I used to love the beach, but I used to love lakes and stuff like that too. But it's like I go to the water now, and like we went to the aquarium, and there was like there's just stuff inside the water. I'd need to wear like a full body wetsuit with feet, and like one of them suits that have the fabric that are like bulletproof and stuff. We would always work on the car together too. Or if anything, I'd sit down and keep him company, but I used to always work on the car with my family, and I used to work on the vehicles and stuff myself. I actually used to do a lot of stuff. I put in stereos myself too. I remember Corey, I figured he was an electrician, he could put in the stereo, and he kind of ruined the stereo a little bit. He got the wires too short. It's like, but I put in 2 stereos. And even if I'm like, I don't know, I don't want to be too short, too tall for anyone. Just we bought these tapestries that were black light. I used to love glow in the dark. I still like glow in the dark stuff. I bought like tapestries that were black light tapestries and black lights. And I used to have fish tanks and aquariums. We bred snails and we were going to breed betas. When I went out to go visit my family, he killed my fish. I think the only thing that was the best part of the relationship was that he held me every night. And I'd fall asleep in his arms, and I could sleep every night. There were some times, though, that I wanted to spend as much time with him as I could, and he would stay awake as late as he possibly could, and we go to bed at like 11, 12. And that was late. It's like I liked being in bed at around 8 or 9. Sometimes staying up a little later, but that was because sometimes we could talk for hours. We would talk all day. Like from the moment he got home, we'd smoke our bowl, talk, watch TV, cook, clean up a little bit together. And like when we first started dating, we got beer, put on music, and started cleaning together, but then we stopped drinking. I got really sick because one night I drank too much and I got really sick and I started puking every time I smelled alcohol. Anytime I smelled alcohol, I puked for a long time. And then when we moved over to Irving, I puked a lot too. Like not Irving, Texas, on Irving, but it's like I puked a lot too. Like when we moved to Irving, we went over to the Jemez Mountains, and I thought I inhaled a cottonwood piece or something, but I started puking every day up until 2017. Every single day. And there were big globs of like mucus, and I went to the doctor for it and everything too. There was bubbling inside my body and a bunch of other stuff. At least it's nothing like it was a couple of years ago when I was sitting there and I was like crying and pretty much begging to get it out of me. It felt like cells were bursting inside my body, and then it felt like something was crawling inside my skin. It was horrible. And I know that Google had a link that said something about bubbling inside the body. And it's like that was scary because that stuff happened to me. But if I went to the doctor, they'd be like, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine. Your blood tests are normal. Everything's normal. Your EKGs are normal. Everything's normal. You're fine. And it's like there was something going on inside my body that was not fine. And it was like they were talking to someone completely different. And or my body should have been fine and something weird was happening and I don't know what was happening. But that stuff was weird. And puking every day. And then one time we were in New Jersey and I thought I had diarrhea or something, and I squirted out a ton of mucus out of my ass. So I ran to the emergency room and they're like, oh no, that's fine, don't worry about it. That's all they told me. And then with my hernia, I have a tiny hernia above my belly button. I mean, my hernia is kind of gone. I don't have the hernia anymore. Maybe it like fixed itself or my abs went back together, but that was after Coraline was born. I got a small hernia. I mean, you could see the hernia when I was pregnant with April too. I mean, I don't know if it's ever going to go away, but I have a small little hernia, and they said it was a small hernia, and it was protruding, and they said, don't worry about it. They said, don't worry about it. And they told me that I didn't have a hernia, and then I went to a different doctor, and they told me that I did have a hernia. They scanned it, and then they're like, don't worry about it. It was only like, I think they said something like a couple centimeters, but it still protrudes. Like when I got pregnant with April, it protruded a little bit. You could see it a little bit. Maybe it'll heal. But I would need to do a lot of ab exercises in order to get my stomach and my muscles to heal up from the pregnancy and the birth. From Coraline, it took forever for the C-section scar for the swelling and everything to go down. It hurt. And I had to wear a catheter for a whole entire month. And then they took the catheter out. Then they had to put the catheter back in because I started swelling and bloating really badly because I was retaining water. So I had to go back to the emergency room, and then they had to put a catheter back in, and I had to wear it for a couple more weeks. I hated wearing a catheter. it took me almost a year and a half to not fully recover. It took me years to fully recover from the birth from Coraline. It was very traumatic on my body. And then I remember when I came out here to New Mexico, everybody was stressing me out so much. My body was under so much stress that I had knots all over my back. I could barely move. And I also remember that my hair started falling out. I was losing so much hair. That was like in Colombia too, when I had to stay at the homeless shelter in Colombia in August last year. My hair started falling out. And they said it was because of stress. And then I got an ulcer not too long ago. And they said that was because it was most likely stress induced. I don't drink too much sodas, and I don't eat things that would cause ulcers. I think they were stress induced. But my hair was falling out in Colombia. My hair fell out 5 years ago too. I was losing chunks and chunks of hair, and I couldn't figure out why. But it was still better than puking every day, all day long. That sucked.